Hey guys, it's Jolene from Smith's Nature Friendly Farms. We're hanging out today and we are going to show you how we germinate a pretty tricky seed. Alright, so since coming to the south, one of the things that I have been determined to grow is lavender, and I've failed miserably at it so far. So I have bought plants from the nurseries and they've died. I have bought numerous packs of seed, and my first challenge was just figuring out how to get them to germinate, and then the second challenge is getting them to live. But overall, I haven't actually accomplished getting them to live very well. I do have one plant still going, but I have learned how to germinate them very well. So I'm going to show you guys the trick to germinating lavender seeds. Okay, so these are the seeds that we've got. Spanish lavender. This is a Bandera Deep Rose. And from some research, this is supposed to be a variety that grows well in the south. Now, this is the first time trying this variety. I have typically just picked up whatever I have found and not researched it enough, but this variety supposedly does well in the south. I got this from Swallowtail Seeds, and I've gotten quite a few seeds from them in the past, and they've been excellent. So they are a good seed company to utilize if you ever need seeds, and they often have very unique ones, which I really like. Now, a lot of their seeds can be tricky to growing, just like lavender is definitely. So you might want to research their seeds and or the seed process in getting them to germinate. So a lot of their seeds are tricky. Okay, with your lavender seeds, one of the first tricks with it, there's actually more than one. The first trick is that the seed requires cold stratification. So what I've done with this is I had this seed pack sit in the fridge, and you should have it sit in the fridge for about 20 days. It can sit in a bit longer, that's fine, it won't hurt the seeds, but you need at least 20 days in order for you to get enough of the cold stratification so that it can actually germinate when we go to our next step. Okay, for our next step, I have a recycled strawberry container here. I have a wet piece of paper towel, so it's nice and moist. And I have our cold stratified lavender seeds. And all I'm going to do is dump out my seeds in my soggy towel. And I'm going to press them in a little bit just to make sure that they get moist. Lots of people love that word, moist. And we've got them in there, and we're going to keep them moist the entire time that they're in this container until they sprout. You can mist them if you want, or I typically just get a cloth with a bit of water on it and dab some more water onto the container. I try not to flood them, but you just want to keep it just enough moisture in there that they don't dry out. We're going to store them on the porch outside, not in direct light, because they'll dry out way too fast and then they're going to die. You could do it in the house as well, but I don't find I get as much light in the house. In the one spot that I do have light, it's pretty direct, and same thing, they can dry out. So you want to be able to keep them moist with a low level light in order for them to start their germination process. So we're going to watch them for a bit and we'll see how long it takes. All right, so we have some germination going on in here. You can see the seeds have started to germinate. So I'm going to start to get them ready and plant them in the soil. It's quite hard to keep them moist. They're drying out pretty quick, so I'm going to put them in the soil right away. Even though some of these have not germinated, I'll continue to keep them moist in the soil. So all I did was put some soil into my container, keeping them on the paper towel. I'm not going to fuss around with them. I'm just going to keep them straight on the paper towel, and then I'm going to just cover them up just lightly. And from here, again, keeping them nice and moist. And now we just wait for them to sprout. All right, guys, it's been about a month and it's time to check up on our lavender. So I thought we would take a quick look and see how it's doing since we started our seeds. They were started on September 5th and now it is October 4th. So let's take a look. All right, so I've already plucked out a few, but here we are. This is our lavender. You can see that they're looking kind of lavenderish. I have pulled one out just to give you a sense of the root system. And it's fairly easy to get them out. You just need to dig a little bit below. A little bit harder when holding the phone at the same time. Loosen up the soil enough that you can give it a gentle tug. And I don't want to pull on this one too much because that dirt there might pull on the roots. But overall, plucking out seedlings, they're pretty darn durable. So I'm going to take them and put them into pots, and they'll continue to grow from there. All right, so that's it for lavender. So remember a few quick things. Make sure that you choose lavender that is the best for your region. Keep your lavender in, I would say, a fast draining soil. It seems to be what works best. Overall, lavender is actually pretty tolerant of kind of not being treated overly well, but it is getting the trick to germination and then getting the right lavender for your area that does matter. Also remember with your lavender that your temperatures likely will matter greatly depending on where you live. So in the south, we definitely enjoy a wider array of plants that can live year-round here. But back in Canada, I don't think lavender would have lived unless we had brought it in the house. Now, by all means, if there's anybody growing lavender in Canada back home and they're growing it successfully outside year over year, great. Now, and I should say in Canada, in Alberta, Canada, Victoria, BC region can have some significantly warmer temperatures year round, so it might be something that grows well out there. But back in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, I could not keep my lavender alive outside. It had to either come in, or I had actually usually had plant murder. So it didn't make it usually year over year. But that being said, we still are working on it out here in Mississippi, finding the right lavender. Hopefully this time this should do it. We'll keep you posted. Awesome, guys. That's it. Be friendly, be kind.